Tesla Model 3 might be one of the most important cars of the past century, kind of Ford Model T levels of importance. But every time you see it driving, you always see it on the lovely streets of San Francisco where everything's perfect, it's covered in trees, everyone drives very sensibly. So what's it going to be like driving a Model 3 with autopilot, self-driving mode, on the chaotic streets of New York City? I've got the key. One thing you have to realize, you've got to start it by kind of tapping the underside of the console there. Then you just put it into drive, and you are away. One of the nice surprising parts about the Model 3 is how good it is at standing still. Now, usually when you're sitting in traffic, you kind of glance at your mirrors, you figure out what cars are doing around you. You don't need to do that in this because you've got this kind of world view of the cars around you here on the screen. So I'm finding myself glancing more at the traffic around me in virtual view than I am at the actual mirrors. That, I don't know if it's an intended consequence of autopilot, but it's one of the best little features of the car so far. Regenerative braking is...
Now turn right to take the FDR Drive South ramp.
I have no idea where I am. Can I turn right there?
See there.
So performance, ready, 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 ready. It's so quick and it's so instantaneous. All the normal things that you hear someone say in an electric car test, really, really fast. Okay, so autopilot now, and I've been figuring this one out, but I'm not very good at it yet. I think I push the stalk down fully.
And then down twice.
And then down twice, and now it's driving itself. This road is a little bit messy. I've got nothing on the pedals either. To be honest, it's doing a better job than me. Nope. Chain smokers, yes. iPhone's really good. It's really very good. Wow, look at the view. YouTube's got copyright audio issues, doesn't it? It's about that. But...
Now keep right to take Hadman Plaza West.
Oh, okay, I did that. I switched it off. So it's really, really good when you just want to nick out of an intersection like this. You haven't got too much room, and you know that you've just got to give it a dash of power. This is the best car in the world at pulling out of an intersection.
Onto French Street.
One of the worst parts of the car so far are the mirrors. This might be because of the spec or the tinting, I'm not 100% sure, but I keep finding that all I'm looking at is a reflection of my own dashboard. So I'm just seeing a giant white bar there, a giant white bar there. Duck out. Even the rear view mirror, you find yourself looking at the giant gradient of the rear window rather than what's behind you. Ooh, suspension test. Very bumpy, very bumpy. Man, that's really bumpy, but it's surprisingly supple. It's got a feeling of firmness to it that you don't really expect in a car that's of this price range. I mean, it's not comfortable, but it's not rattling your face off. Pretty, isn't it? So while we've got the car here, we'll do a bit of a walk around, show you all the details of the Model 3. We'll do it quickly as well because it's cold as piss, but I'm not going to complain. This is your key to the Tesla. It's like a little credit card with the word Tesla across the top. The way in and out of the car is like this. So you've just got to kind of swipe the credit card up against the door. Now initially you think you've got to do it near that camera, but that's wrong. You've got to do it in the middle of the door frame like this. Then you see the car is open because all the mirrors fold out. If you want to lock it, there's no button. You do that again. It's weird to not have a button, something tactile, but with your credit card and the proximity side of things, very, very easy. Door handle is here. Door handle here. Way to enter this is to put your thumb on the edge and then open it like that. Very Aston Martin, just kind of tap and open. Interior. You're presented initially with nothing. No controls. You've got these two little dials here which scroll up and down. And I'll show you, if we adjust the steering wheel, this part's kind of nice. It's a good tactile entry to the Model 3. If you want to move the steering wheel up and down, you go into this giant display, tap the steering wheel button, and then you just roll the wheel up and down. Now that's kind of fun. If you want to move it up and down as well, or towards and away from you, you press the button to to the left and the right. In practice, in driving, it's a little bit irritating at first, having to dive in and press your settings and control your seat using the screen, but once you've got the car set up, you really don't find yourself touching it at all, and it becomes the world's best sat-nav and music display. We're going to go to the boot now and take a look at some of the controls there. Put many things in there. Now we're waiting everyone to take their Instagram photos. We'll get some shots of the car, and then we'll go back and do Times Square. Oh man, all the people. So while we're here, I'll show you something I just found here. If you go into the car's settings, you tap the car button, and then you tap driving. There's something called track mode. I think you've got to be in park to enable it, but then you tap track. Select track mode to enable Tesla's performance-oriented stability controls. This is a little bit of drivetrain, a little bit of stability control as well. Do not use on public roads. Let's turn it on. Oh, I'm never gonna get tired of that. Slow down, Ashley. 30 miles an hour max. He's doing more than 30 miles an hour, but I'm a responsible Tesla owner. And it's going to take us back into the city. So when we're in the city, we can kind of try to turn the autopilot on. All I'm getting is that beep, just auto steer temporarily unavailable. So now that we are in the city, I've gone to turn on the autopilot mode, which is you do by kind of double tapping. Oh, it's worked, it's on. And I gotta say, it's doing pretty well. I'm more nervous than I think the car is, but it's driving for me. It's somewhat aware of all the cars that are trying to pull in. This is a pretty good little city runabout car. Sorry. So far, it's handling the kind of compressed lanes of traffic pretty well. Oh.
Now turn right onto Avenue of the Americas.
So that was me. I took over then, and now it won't let me do it. So this is the situation where self-driving, and even any form of driving, starts to break down. And it's peak hour traffic where you've got NYPD over there trying to guide you along, and you'll wait and you'll see this guy's going to guide traffic and tell cars to come up a little closer. It's going to position you on the road so that you can turn. I don't know how a car is going to be able to figure out what the hell that means. It all starts to fall down when it's 5:30 and you've got to start to take some slightly out of structure initiatives. That's hard. That's a hard problem to solve for a car. It's a hard problem for a driver to solve. One good alternative to using the self-driving autopilot stuff in traffic is just using the automatic speed control there. It does require you to hold the steering wheel, which, to be honest, does feel a little safer, a little better in these conditions, but it's doing the speed for me, and it's watching the flow of traffic ahead of me. See, it's doing that now, but I'm the one that's driving. That's a pretty good option. That's a really good alternative to trying the full autopilot in a place like this. The Tesla Model 3 is faster than a Ferrari. It's got better technology than an S-Class, and a price tag that's cheaper than a BMW 3 Series, all in a package that's more characterful and more enjoyable than anything else on the market. The self-driving technology works brilliantly, but only in scenarios where you'd want the car to drive itself. In the middle of the city, it's a bit silly, and there are certain scenarios that expose why self-driving technology might require human intervention for at least the next decade. But put simply, this might be the most important car of this century, and it might also be the best. It's also cold as f***, so let's get out of here. What does it say on the inside? Come on, tilt the screen, don't you? 181 miles, so that's now starting to charge. That's how many miles per hour we're actually charging with. I like that metric. I really like that metric. The total range of this thing was about 300 miles from the beginning. 50 minutes is a long time for this to charge up.